Japanese warplanes from Saipan began bombing Guam on the morning of December 8, 1941. This air attack coincided with the bombing of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Japanese soldiers invaded Guam on December 10th.
On December 8th, there was physical evidence of the Japanese coming, even though they didn't land, and word of the bombing of Pearl Harbor had reached Guam. Well, on December 8th, many of the Chamorro people were at the cathedral, because this is the feast day of our patron saint, Santa Maria Cumberland. So, many people have these very strong, vivid memories of being at the cathedral and just getting word to evacuate, that, doom was coming. And so, Haganya was literally chaos. People were running to find their family members, go to the ranch. People even in the hospitals, their memories have memories of just running out of the hospital and trying to connect with their family and finding that people were just fleeing Haganya and moving to the ranches for safety.
We were crying, we didn't know what to do. So my mother and all my family said they're having a party there, Santa Maria. So I don't know whether the cook or the meat that we put down there in for fiesta. No, I don't know, sir. We just ran away up to the ranch. So we got ranch, so we stayed in the ranch. We don't stay in Hagana when the Japanese come.
It was on a very bright, clear morning on December 8, 1941, about 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was at Cabras Island as an employee of a contractor who was doing defense project, defense against the war that they know was impending. So by about 9 o'clock in the morning, there were about 3 to 5 airplanes, supposedly fighter planes, and they were flying over us at a very great height, and we don't know right away what planes were there. We thought that they were friendly planes, and the fact that it was a holiday, a very important holiday at that time, we thought that we were given a blessing by our Lord, that for most of us have not seen airplane in our lives except that very morning.
Juan noticed that the planes were flying in different directions. Finally, they made their way to Sumay, where they began bombing the Standard Oil Company.
After we found out that there were hostile planes, we started running from Cabras Island. Everybody was running for their lives, And when I looked around, I thought that I was the last one to leave the area. So I started running from Cabras Island all the way down to Piri. And on my way to Piri, some of these airplanes would be conducting strafing, over the people that were running from Cabras, And fortunately, I believe God has just protected me, because the planes that were strafing, their bullets were just falling ahead of me, just like raindrops, falling down from the clouds. And as I said, luckily that these bullets were in front of me. Otherwise, if they came from the back of me, I would probably have been hit, and maybe I would not be a living person by this time.
Juan continued to run, dodging bullets from above.
Some of those dynamites were hit by strafing bullets, and they produce a very thunderous, loud, thunderous explosion that even increased my fear. When I got to Piri, everything was quiet. The people in Piri, the hundreds of people living in Piri had left their villages, already. I believe they knew that this was a wartime.
Juan's father, who was supposed to be working in Asen, was nowhere to be found. Several of Juan's family members were waiting for him at his house in Harmon, Dedida. Juan later discovered that his father was killed in a car accident as he and his co-workers tried to flee Asen.
Then I got home, and that's when I told my mother that my father was a casualty, you know. And so we started praying, you know. And then that's when the next day, my nephew, you know, told me that you know, my father was in the morgue